Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Princess of Aesthetically Princess. If you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Princess. Here on my channel, I do most of things from art to journaling to whatever I come up with unusually. Today is actually a very bookish day. So the past year, I really wanted to do more reading. I ended up not doing as much reading as I thought I would. Shouts out to me. But I really want to try and fix that in the new year. I'm not going to give myself like this 100-book list to read. I am going to be like, okay, I want to read minimum 12 books this year, at least one book a month, and then we'll see what we get through this year. And this video is for me to hold myself accountable. Warning, I'm not going to be doing a lot of bookish things, honestly. You may see me go shopping for some books. You may see me do a little small book haul. But honestly, I don't do much about books. I know some people that do books, and honestly, I will try and do it. You know what? I'm gonna leave a list of my favorite bookish people in the comments down below. For you guys, not for me, for you guys. So let's get into the video. Okay, my cup has moved and then I am here. So underneath me, I have a stack of the books that I have read, and then the book that I'm currently reading. As you can see, I have a bookmark in it. Really quickly, this is a list for my Black girls, quite honestly, because I am okay. When I decided last year that I was going to start reading more books, I made a decision that I would only read books with Black female main characters. I don't really care about the male characters much. I want to care about the Black female characters. I never grew up with that many with that many books that were like Black female led. And honestly, I'm about to give you my honest review about any of the books that I've read and the one book that I'm currently reading, and then give you like a small list of books that I plan to get. So let's begin. First things first. In the year of 2022, I read 4 books, and I'm currently finishing this book. I'm going to warn you. I'm the type of person that does not give a fuck about a series unless it has to matter. I would read the second book in a full series and not give a crap about any of the other books. And then I will never buy the other books in that particular series again. You should see the stack that I have. Like literally the stack, in this stack alone, 3 of these books are part of a series that honestly I will finish. I might finish the rest of the series to 2 of the books. The other one's not so much. The other one not so much. But right now, let's get into this like full scale book review. So in the year 2022, I read 4 books. The first book that I read in January. I read Tia Williams' 7 Days in June. Quick rundown of what this book is. I'll give you the blurb on the back. 7 days to fall in love, 15 years to forget, and 7 days to get it all back again. Ava Mercy is a single mom and a best-selling erotica writer who is feeling pressed from all sides. Shane Hall is a reclusive, award-winning novelist who is, to everyone's surprise, shows up in New York. When Shane and Ava meet unexpectedly at the Black Literacy event, sparks fly, but what no one knows is that 15 years earlier, teenage Ava and Shane spent one crazy torrid week madly in love and have been secretly writing to each other in each other's books ever since. Over the next 7 days, amidst a steamy Brooklyn summer, Ava and Shane reconnect, but Ava's weary of the man who broke her heart. Before Shane disappears again, she needs to find new questions answered. Needs a few questions answered. With its keen observation of creative life in America today, as well as the joys and complications of being a mother and a daughter, 7 Days in June is a hilarious, romantic, sexy tale story of 2 writers discovering their second chance at love. Did you hear that? That was the blurb. I actually found this through one of the book talkers. I'm going to leave the link down below. I found it through her. I hate this book. I'm gonna give this book a 2.5 stars. I hate this book. I have a deep despise of this fucking book. Honestly, this was the worst book to start my 2022 like bookish reading. honestly, this is probably what kicked off my complete annoyance and like very little book reading in the year of 2022. That in school. Bitch, this book fucking sucks. Okay, so I gave you the blurb on the back. It's supposed to be, and what I thought it was, and what it sounds like it is like you have two teenagers who like fell madly in love and random week in June years ago, and now they've gotten back together years later. That is not what this is. This lied to me. I was so very pissed about it too when I was reading it, because I was heavily pissed. Because what it doesn't tell you is that 1 week when they were teenagers falling madly in love, they were high as shit on a copious amount of drugs. Randomly, she almost died. Her mom had him arrested, and they never saw each other again because they moved. Another thing they don't tell you in this book is it literally just says she's just a single mom, best-selling author. What they don't tell you is she has this unknown random autoimmune disorder, like this full-on disease that puts her in like some of the worst pain possible. Supposedly she's in horrible pain every single day of her fucking life, which is why she does drugs. She does drugs because she's in so much fucking pain. She needs hardcore to the throat drugs to stay, you know, able to be like, you know, a functioning human of society. This book lied to me. When I picked it up, okay, someone online showed me, she is so sweet. She makes the cutest little videos of like different characters. I love that. I was like, ooh, Ava Mercy, I love her name. And then I picked up the book because I found it at fucking Books A Million. And I picked it up and I read it back and I was like, that sounds so sweet, because I am in my era of loving Black female characters and loving Black female characters in their romance era. Why the fuck is this bitch high as hell at all times? Literally within the first chapter, she leaves. She's literally at a conference she's at a conference. She's at like a little book event for her really sweet books, and literally she leaves because she's in so much pain. She leaves, she goes to the bathroom, and she sticks herself in the leg. And I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was morphine or something else. But she does a full. She just does like a thing of drugs in the bathroom. Medical marijuana gummy bears, and there's something else. Disposable painkiller injections. Like she jabs herself in the thigh with a needle and then takes a marijuana gummy and continues about her day. Here's the reason why I gave it a 2.5 and I didn't give it a fucking 0. 1, the writing in this book is beautiful. When I say Tia Williams has a beautiful like writing style, I love it. She's so descriptive. The emotions in the book are so very to your face. Why does it have a 2.5 stars? 2 stars though? This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. This is not at all what the book that they give you, the blurb that they give you, it usually gives you some like trigger warnings. There's no trigger warnings in this. No one gave me any trigger warnings about one, she thinks her family, okay, pause. I told you, she has some random disease. They don't ever name the disease. They just give her like a really hard fucking disease and says her doctors don't know what's wrong with her and just give her like meds. Like they don't tell you it's like chronic pain. It's not even chronic pain. It's just she's always had these like pains. It's like full body pains. It's really bad migraines. It's something else. Like there's stuff that's like deathly wrong with her. There's no explanation. But towards the end of the book, they give you an explanation. She comes from a long line of crazy Black women from New Orleans. And they tell you that somebody in her family had this mysterious fucking disease. Keep in mind, the crazy Black women have randomly killed themselves or gotten themselves killed in the most random of ways. And they tell you in the book, they're like, oh, okay, they made each other for a week. It's now 15 years later. They meet each other for another week. And in that week, they fuck. I can't remember if they fuck twice, but they fuck. They definitely fuck. They fuck in public, by the way. She goes through a few ups and downs about her child, and then about what happened all those years ago. Her mom finally tells her that she had the boy arrested because they found her in a random house bleeding out because she almost killed herself, and he called the fucking cops. This book is a mind fuck of what the fuck is going on at all times. I feel like I'm not giving you the best idea of like what's going on in this book that makes me want to fight somebody. Okay? This book is a pain in my behind. I have a deep despise of this book. It's linear, and I do love it. I love a jump back in time, or like I really do. I love it when the story is giving me two timelines at once. I really do. I like it. Okay, I am reading a book that I was reading something that did that. Probably a fan fiction of mine. Anyways, but I love when my books give me like two timelines, and I'm just supposed to meet in the middle. I'm okay with that. I love shows like that. This pissed me off because my main thing is, please put trigger warnings on your fucking books. The fuck. One thing about me is I don't like read drug use. I'm not really one of those people. I don't like to read drug use because I don't do drugs, so I don't find any interest in it, and so it doesn't build a character for me. So this book pissed me off. First of all. Second of all, there was a warning of that. There was a warning of her being in excessive amount of pain, because it make you think that it's just a romance book. It's really not. Because at one point they really do get into like this full-on argument of what's really wrong with Shane, and I love that. I love that we get down into like Shane, the male main character. We get into like his mental health and like what's going on with him and what's led him to this moment. But also I'm made to believe that they've been writing to each other in their books. Like the fuck? And it's two separate things too. He's supposed to be writing about a black girl's perspective in life, and then she is an erotica author, and she's made two characters that are like, they're similar to like, you know, what they went through. Honestly, if you want to read 7 Days in June, because I know there's a lot of people that recommend this book. People recommend the fuck out of this book because they love this book. I hate this book. This book is shite. I cannot stand this book. I wish it was better. It's not great. But we've been talking about this book for too long, so it's gone. Next book I read, because I honestly thought that this would be a pick-me-up from whatever the fuck that was. I really did. And honestly, it is. So this is Take a Hint, Danneaburden by Talia Hibbert, and this is one of the books that I said that is a part of a series that I probably might like continue to read the series. Okay, so this is Get a Life, Danneaburden, but it's part of a series of Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and I think Get a Life. What is her sister's name? It's Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Take a Hint, Danneaburden, and then the other one is, goodness gracious, something Hint Eve Brown. But it's the series follows a group of sisters. It's following a group of sisters while they're like moving through like their romantic endeavors. So the first book is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which honestly I should go get. I'm not gonna lie, I would actually probably like it. And then you have Take Hint, Danneaburden. Now this one, that's too much to read on the back, so I'm really going to tell you what it's about. It's about a young woman. Her name is Danica. She is a career-driven, like, black woman who's in STEM. She's a black woman in STEM. She's I can't remember what her profession is. She's a bitch in STEM, but she's getting her PhD, but she's also a teaching assistant. So she's teaching at the school that she's also studying at. And it just so happens that she's friends with the, what is he called? The security guard for the building that she works in. His name is Zaf. He is a former soccer player turned security guard after a tragic accident made him leave the soccer playing world. And I honestly love them. They're very sweet, but they end up in a random situation because the two of them get caught on camera of him bringing her out of a building after she sprained her ankle, and they go viral because people know who he is. His name is Zaf. He's this like famous soccer player. They know who he is. They don't really know who she is, but they like create this fake relationship as to like, you know, help him in his endeavors because he's currently doing like charity work. He's doing like charity work, and he wants to like expand his like business of being a teacher to he's a soccer coach to young unfortunate kids, things like that. So they decide They're going to create this like really random, like straight up the ass, fake relationship to go viral online. But they are like interested in each other. I will say this: you have Danny, who is again a very career-driven woman. She's also very much in her. I would say she's a very sexually not active. What is the word? She's very like deep in her sexuality. She knows what she wants in life, and she knows like what she like enjoys, especially when it comes to partners. And you will see that in the book. She talks about like literally within the first book, she just got out of a situationship with one of her partners. I can't remember if she was a girl. It was a girl, but she's bisexual, by the way. But she just got in a relationship with a partner, and she asked a goddess. She asked the goddess that she worships, because she's a lich. She asked, "Hey, send me a new fuck buddy." She literally asked, "Can you send me a new fuck buddy?" What they instead send her is Zaf, who is a huge romance. He's romantic at heart. I love him. I really do. He's so sweet. Zaf is so sweet. He's a romantic at heart, and he really likes Danny, and he honestly isn't mad about this like fake relationship, and neither is Danny. But Danny is really not into wanting to get into an actual relationship. She has some trauma concerning relationships. Also, she's very much into her career. Now, this book out of me gets a 3.5 stars. Why? Allow me to spoil it for you. This book, we work through all the hard work. We get through everything. We literally start a relationship. We sleep together and we confess to each other. And she gets out of bed with him after fucking him, after he does a full confession, and she goes, "I don't think you love me. You don't love me. And I don't love you. Get out." And she kicks him out of her house. And she's gone. Literally, that is like almost the last chapter. Is she literally kicks him out of her house? Yeah. Yeah. Literally, there's chapter 19. Chapter 19, the epilogue, and right before that, in chapter fucking 18, she kicks him out of the fucking apartment and tells him, here it is. Don't, Danica, don't. This was a mistake. No, we're trying. Try with me, Dan. Give me something. We tried, but it didn't work. Bitch. Chapter fucking 18. How the fuck do you just fuck the man and tell him it was a mistake after fucking him? That pissed me off. This is the only reason that this book has 3.5 stars. Honestly, it would have a full 4 out of me, only because it's interesting, but it's not as interesting as I kind of thought it would be. She's a very interesting character, but they play into like the I'm too career driven and like, a bad bitch to care about, being in a relationship a little too much, which leads to like the stupid ending. And then within the chapter 19, and then within that blog, they just go ahead and fix that. You could have left out this much of the fucking book. Okay, you could have left out this much of the fucking book if you would have just ended it with, okay, they got together, and now give me the epilogue. Because that last chapter was ridiculous. Like, how do you go through I despise when books and when the storylines make a random last minute conflict. But this is what this book does. I love Take a Hit Danny Brown just because the writing is beautiful. I love Danny. She's so cool to me. I love her. She's a very bright, very cool. She's very driven, and I love a driven character. But that last chapter pissed me off so bad that I want to fight. Especially when you have such a sweet character like Zaf. I love him. I really do. And I'm going to spoil it for you that the reason why he leaves soccer is because he really does go, okay, this isn't for me. Why? Because he ends up on a random day. His father and his older brother get into a horrible accident and they both fucking pass. They both fucking die. Okay? Which leaves him, his mom, his sister-in-law, and his sister-in-law's kid. Okay? That's them. This is them left. Literally on the day of the accident, a reporter runs up to his face and asks him how he feels about the fact that his brother and his dad just fucking died. He fucking decks the living shit out of the reporter because that was just how he found out. But what the fuck? How do you do that to somebody? But he's a really sweet character. he's been through some shit. Honestly, when I was first reading, I thought he had initially already had like he'd already been married and had a kid and lost his wife and kid in like an accident. Honestly, that's what the book was giving. They weren't they didn't explain that very well. I honestly thought that he had already been married. I was like, oh, huh, very interesting. But he's sweet, and I love his character, and the fact that she did that to him pissed me off, honestly. And then it was like an easy, quick, like stupid makeup. Like they made up because she just kind of sat with him on a soccer field and confessed that she was sorry. Bitch, what is this book? This is a great book up until that last like 2 chapters. The last 2 chapters kind of just make me want to throw it out the window, but it's still a good, funny book. I would recommend this one, not that one. This one, I love this one. You get to be in your own stack because you suck. This, okay. Okay, one thing about me is I either read something that someone recommended to me, or honestly, if I found it like at a random corner and it just interested me. So what we have here is Fake It Till You Bake It by Jamie Wesley, okay? And wait, pause. I think I said her name correctly. I think her name is Jamie. Yes. Her name is Jamie. It's just that the J looks weird and it almost kind of looks like a backwards F. I was so confused when I first, I was like, Jamie, what the fuck? But her name is Jamie Wesley. And this is Fake It Till You Bake It. And I love this book. This book is so cute. This one gets like a full 4 stars out of me because I love it. I really love this book. This book made me very happy. Honestly, it's what made me go, ooh, honestly, I do like reading. So, honestly, my leg is falling asleep, so pause. Fake It Till You Bake It is about a young woman. I read their names off the back because I do not remember like anybody's names at all. Don't ask. But this is Jada Townsend Matthews is her name. She's honestly a very cool. She gives, you know what she gives me? She gives me Sex in the City. What's her name? The main character of Sex in the City. Sandra Bullock. No, not Sandra Bullock. What am I thinking? No. The main character to Sex in the City. Carrie Washington. Is that her name? Her name's Carrie, no? Her name is Carrie. Carrie from Sex in the City. That's what she gives me. But she is a Black woman. She is currently in hiding. You're like, what the fuck? She's currently in hiding because she was recently on a dating show, kind of like The Bachelor in this book world. But she's on a dating show, and she ended up being like the last woman that the main guy gives their rose to. He's a Black hot doctor. He's sexy. He's so sweet. Everyone's been watching this show since it started coming out, and everyone's been absolutely in love with them. They're like, oh my god, they're gonna end up together. They're so sweet. She turns him down. She gets the last rose in the fucking Bachelor, and she turns the man down. Why? Because she really didn't think she was going to win. She was in on the show specifically to, like, you know, open her horizons and like become a little bit more famous. She's been trying to do that for a while now. She's been trying to get her name out. She's been trying to build up her own career outside of her family, because her family is very well known within their like respective fields. And so she's been trying to make a name for herself. So she turns down the last rose of The Bachelor, and she is now the most hated one it's across America. Like, everyone hates her because she turned down The Bachelor. She can't leave her house without somebody being like, you turned him down. Why the fuck did you turn him down? I better be. She gets full on attacked in the store. She's going out because her friend is like, let's go out. Let's go and do something. You've been in the house for too long. And someone literally attacks her and starts yelling at her for turning the man down. So yes, Jada is in hiding. She's currently hiding in her home. But she has a grandmother. Like I said, her family is like famous in their respective fields. Her parents are, I believe, scientists or doctors. I cannot remember quite, but they're pharmacists. They're doctors. Her parents are doctors, and they really wanted her to also be like her sister and also come into the doctor field. And when she refused, they cut her off. They cut her off. Why? Because they're a very rich family. Why? Because her grandmother actually owns a full-on football team, which she took over when her husband died, and she's honestly built their wealth. They're a very wealthy Black family, and honestly, fucking love her. Love grandma. Love grandma. until, you know, sorry, grandma kind of sits her down and is like, hey, you need to get a job, Betty. I love you, I really do, but you need to get a job. You cannot just sit in your little loft and like hide away from the world. You need to get a job. So what does she do? She goes to one of her football players, who is Danneaburden, and she's like, hey, you own a bakery, a little cupcake shop, if you will. Take my granddaughter with you, and just take her on as like an employee. You don't have to pay her, I'll pay her, but she's just doing this because I told her to. Could you please take her? Now, who is Danneaburden? Danneaburden is a football player, a very famous football player, where on the team that they play, I don't remember what, San Diego, and I can't remember what the football team name is. It's not on the back. But he owns a cupcake shop with 2 other teammates of his, and they run this like really sweet like cupcake shop. He's a baker. He's always loved to bake, but he is kind of like the opposite of Danny and Zaf. The 2 of them. Jada is more of like the outgoing one, and he is very rigid. Actually, she calls him in the book a principal because she reminds her of like a school principal. But they're really sweet. But she ends up getting a job at his bakery, and while they're there, someone comes into the bakery and they're like, oh, are you 2 dating? Is this the guy that you were waiting on? Is this the guy you turned down the bachelor for? She's like, yeah, it is. You know what, it is. And they decide right then and there that they're going to fake it till you bake it. I am confused as to how I ended up with 2 fake dating books in a row. It gets worse. I promise you it gets worse. I don't know how I did that, but I just picked it up and I thought it was cute. And honestly, they are so cute as well. They end up going through and like just completely faking this entire relationship. 1, to better her image. 2, to hopefully bring in more people to his current bakery, because currently no one goes to Sugar Blitz, which is the name of the bakery. No one goes. It's kind of like everyone went to it when it first opened because the novelty of it. Like 3 football players open up a bakery, my boy, I'm going. But now no one really goes, no one's really interested, and so hopefully the social media will bring more people into the bakery, more interest, and honestly, Jada kind of takes over and she's like, hey, you know what I want to do? I actually want to have like events here at the bakery. And so she does little book clubs and she hosts little events, and that's kind of where she stands in the book, and I love that for her. She steps out of her shell and she really starts to get into expressing herself and being more of herself. This book is super duper fucking cute. I love them so fucking much. They are so sweet. Their relationship is really cute. The storyline is really cute. They do the thing where they kind of like break up towards the end and then like get back together to like, you know, separate, you know, hey, let's separate our careers from our life and then come back in a few, which honestly I've never seen as a bad thing. There's a difference. There's a difference between this and this. They broke up for a bit. I think at the time is like 6 months or so, where she like starts branching out and she starts becoming like an event planner in San Diego, which I think is really sweet. While like they, on the other hand, like broke up because she's crazy. But they kind of just create this full relationship. They go through like the whole fake dating and they start falling in love, and they're really fucking cute. Honestly, I think they're really fucking cute. Honestly, me finding this randomly was honestly a blessing in disguise. I found this at Target. I was like walking through the very small like random book area, the area of black books in Target, and I saw it and I picked it up mainly because it was pink and I love the blue of their clothes, because this is like the signature color for his like bakery. And honestly, I find them so cute. I really do. This is a really cute storyline. I love the entire energy. She's so sweet. He is kind of funny because again, he's such a rigid person, and so he's not open to change, and she is such a very like spontaneous person that she kind of like forces you to change with her, and forces like literally when they find out about the becoming like in a like the relationship that they get into, like the fake relationship, it's just because she said yes to a reporter. She's like, oh, are you guys dating? Yeah, sure, yeah. And literally that's just the kind of person she is. While he is the one to make a plan and try and plan out how, like, you know, they're about to go through this, plan out the dates, plan out the appearances. And honestly, they're so cute to me. I love them. They're like, this is a really fluffy book. This is a book that is so very fucking fluffy. And honestly, I give this book a good 4.5 stars. It's just so random and I love it. It's just so cute. They're so fucking cute. They're so sweet. I love them. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. But 4.5 stars if I were to give it like a full star review. 4.5. Next. The last book I read in 2023 was Terms and Conditions. Another book in a series that I will not be finishing. So, like I said, I am reading books with Black female main characters. This is the second book to a 3-book series. And everyone says that they don't like the first book, which if, there should be like a stack in, like a page in here. It should be in here. Like there should be a thing in here that tells me what the first book is called. There's not. Crazy. I'm trying to see if there is like a thing that tells me what book this is. Because this is Terms and Conditions, and I know there's the fine print and something else. There's something else in here. Okay. Anyways, I can't remember. But this is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in the series. Everyone hates the first book. Everyone's like, the first book kind of sucks. This is the best book. And then everyone kind of is about the third book. I will not be reading either of those books. Not happening. Not happening. One, neither of those ladies are Black. So, you know, I don't care. I have no interest. And if everyone does not like the first book, why the fuck am I going to bite the bullet and go get the first book? You've lost your fucking mind. It's not happening. I think there's something weird that happens in there too that somebody was like, they're so fucking weird. But allow me to explain. So this is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is part of the Dreamland Billionaires, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you to your face. It's Disneyland. If you made like a fan fiction about the Disneyland CEOs, like if the CEOs of Disneyland were 3 random fucking dudes, okay? You have Dreamland Billionaires, okay? So we have Declan, who is the CEO, who is like next in line to be the CEO of like the Dreamland business, and then Iris, his very sweet, very good at her job assistant. Well, when Declan's grandfather died, he gave Declan a thing of being like, okay, you can be CEO, but you have to get married, then you can have like the rest of your half of like the will. Whatever you need and whatever you're supposed to get in the will, you just have to get married and you have to have a child. Okay? This doesn't seem hard, no? Well, it is, because every single time that Declan gets he like gets Iris to set up like this random fucking like partner. He's like, do me a favor, Iris, go find me a random fucking wife, bring her back to me, and I'll marry that bitch. Well, every single time the bitch breaks it off. The woman breaks off the relationship with him, and so he's ending up like in these random situations where he keeps getting left by the woman he's supposed to marry, which leads us to the beginning of the book where they're at a current wedding. Like, they're supposed to be at a wedding. His wedding, his like an engagement announcement, and the girl he's supposed to marry has left. She's quit. Like, literally, they're at the engagement party, they're about to reveal her. The bitch is quit. She's gone. She's gone. She left. And so Iris is like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Allow me. Let me just, you know what, fuck it. I'll be your fucking wife. You'll marry me, motherfucker. And so I honestly think it was kind of hilarious the way she like was like, fine, I will marry you. I will do it. I will bite the bullet and I will marry you. And that's what she does. She literally gets up in his face and she's like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to fake it. And we're going to fake it until we make it. And they end up in another fake relationship. Again, how I ended up with 3 fake relationships in a row, crazy. But they end up in a relationship where they're like, okay, I'm going to be your wife. We're going to make a contract about me being your partner, us living together and still continuing our jobs. Main part of this book that I love, honestly, is that she's really invested in making this relationship a relationship, even if it's meant to be fake. She's trying to be like, okay, even if we're doing this to fake it, I still want to be in like a relationship for the years that we're stuck together. Okay? And I love that for her. Here's the thing though. Declan is an asshole. I like Declan, but he is like a full-blown asshole. Okay? All of the other guys in these books have been really fucking sweet. Zaf is sweet. Fucking Donovan is sweet in his own right, even if he is like a little stuck-up bitch. And then you have fucking Shane, who's an absolute just, he's really down to earth. I love that about him. Declan is an asshole. Declan is an asshole. Declan is an asshole. Declan is an asshole. And he's also the first white one. That should say something. Because both Shane and Donovan are black. And then Zaf is, I can't remember if he's Indian or Arabic, because it can be a little more specific, but he is of, I believe he's Indian. Declan is white. Declan is Caucasian AF. Okay, Declan is Caucasian as fuck. And honestly, I kind of feel bad for her throughout the story because, again, she does make an attempt. She makes a full-blown attempt to, like, you know, try and make this relationship work. And he is unmoving in his resolve to be an asshole. Which, honestly, kind of makes me hate him. Definitely gets on my nerves. Definitely can kick rocks. Iris is an angel. Iris is an angel placed on this earth to do nothing but be a sweet thing and put up with Declan. She's an absolute angel. She's a plant mom. She's very down in her career. She's the only person that's been able to stick around because Declan is going through a large amount of secretaries, okay? Iris is the only one that's been able to keep her job, all right? He goes through secretaries like at least once a week. She wasn't even originally supposed to be secretary for as long as she has been for like, which is like the past 2 to 3 years. She was actually a temp secretary until they found him another secretary. She's going to be there for a week. He kept her around. And she has put her full-blown pussy into every single thing that she does for him. Every single thing, okay? And I love them. I really do. Because honestly, this book gets a 5 out of 5 for me. Because I love the progression between them being in a, like, full-blown fake relationship, building that relationship into dating, and then eventually there's moments where Declan realizes that, hey, I'm too much of an asshole to her. I have been so focused on becoming a CEO and focused on trying to be the best version of a CEO that I'm not trying to be the best version of myself nor the best version of Iris's husband. And so that's where we are, and that's where you get to at the end of the book, where he realizes that, hey, I need to be nicer to her because I want her to stay with me. I want her to stick through it with me. I really do. And I love them. They're so fucking sweet. And honestly, out of all the books that I have read, this one is my favorite, and this one is the one I recommend the most, because although Declan is an asshole, he does come to like realize just how much of an asshole he is and how much he wants to put work into having a relationship with Iris that makes him just go full blown. Just, I need to focus on her. And I love them. I love them so much. They have some conflicts in the book, and I love their banter as well. It's kind of giving enemies to lovers because they cannot stand each other. They cannot stand each other. She's friends with his brother, but she cannot stand this man. She cannot stand Declan. Declan could kick rocks and she would laugh. He could kick rocks and she would laugh at that shit, honestly. And I love them. Their banter is cute. Their relationship is cute. The progression of their relationship is cute. I love them. This book hit like no other. Also, this book was the last book I read in 2023, and I was so proud of myself because honestly, I had read literally the first chapter of this book and put it down and never picked it up again until I finished all my classes, and then I proceeded to read through the entire thing in like all about 2 to 3 days. I read this in like 2 to 3 days, and this is a pretty thick book. Honestly, it looks, I'm not gonna lie to you though, it looks thick. I think of all the pages, including the epilogue, I always read my epilogues. I don't give a fuck what the rest of y'all. 466 pages, and then this was 383. And Danneaburden is 483. This one is only $325. This one is $321. So this is the most pages of the book that I read, and honestly, me getting it through in like 2 or 3 sittings is honestly really cute, because the rest of these took about each. This one took like a full month. This took a few days, and then this took this one took a few weeks, honestly, and then so did this one. This 3 months. I had to sit there and I had to make myself read a chapter a day minimum, and then I finished it. And when I got to like the last 3 chapters, I like forced myself to finish it. But this though, I couldn't put this down. I was reading it like twice a day. I'd wake up and I'd read it, and then I go to bed. Right before I went to bed, I'd read it. Because also I love this fucking book. So this is the books I read in 2023. When we look back at the end of this year, this stack will be bigger, and we will still be sticking to My Black Girls Only. Leads us to the book that I'm reading currently, which is The Duchess Effect. I am not very far in this book. I actually bought this book for my birthday. This is my birthday present to myself because I just finished Terms and Conditions. And I'm the type of person that as soon as I finish one book, then I can buy another book, and then I can start another book. So we have The Duchess Effect, which is book 2 of American Royalty. I kind of want to read American Royalty first, but I couldn't find it where I was, and I couldn't find it at Books A Million, so I just grabbed The Duchess Effect and I just started reading. So this is The Duchess Effect by Tracy Livesay, and she is so cute. Honestly, I love this book so far. I'm only on I'm literally only on chapter 7. I haven't been able to read much of it because I've just been doing so much currently that this has been at the back of my brain. But it's about a female rapper. She kind of gives me Megan Thee Stallion vibes, but it's a female rapper who ended up in England for a while, only to accidentally end up in a relationship with one of the princes of England. They go through a bunch of trials and tribulations, and they still get together, which leads us to The Duchess Effect, which is now they are trying to navigate their relationship and navigate his princely duties, because originally he was just a professor at a college in England, and now he no longer has that job. And now he's trying to take care of his life, try and keep Duchess, which is her name. Her name is Duchess. His name is Jameson. But Duchess / Danielle. He's trying to keep Danielle away from his family because he finds his family to be a bunch of horrible fucking people, and he wants to have his future partner be not in the family business, because honestly he believes that his grandparents, his grandmother in particular, is not the greatest person, and so he's trying to keep her away from that, but she's also trying to make it in the world, and people are currently not the best because they're now paying attention to her because she's dating the Prince of England, and they kind of don't care about her, especially because she's a black woman and he's a white man. But you know what? So far, they're really cute. We're already getting into the conflict, honestly. I'm only on chapter 7, and we're already getting into the conflict. I actually read it not yesterday, but the day before I went to work. And honestly, I wanted to read it yesterday, but my day yesterday sucked horribly, so I didn't have time. I'll probably read this tonight and maybe work on it this week. I also want to finish it by Wednesday, so that's the big thing. The big thing for me is to finish this by Wednesday so I can get my next few books, which allow me to explain. I can't rank that for you yet. It can't be ranked yet because I'm not far enough in the book to really be able to rank it. Oh my gosh. I need a new thing for my tablet. I never realized because it's already fucking vilely disgusting. I have a list from last year of the books that I wanted to get. I have a new book on the list. I'm going to put it here because I can't remember the name. My cousin, who is one of the people that I'm going to put down below, recommended it to me because they really like it. And they know that I love black female characters, and this is a black female queer book. So most definitely got to get my hands on that. Honestly, I want to order 2 because if you guys don't know, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but I currently work at my school's LGBTQ center. I'm sorry, I'm trying to like access like my list. Here it is. I have my list now. I'm going to put my list on the screen, and I'm also going to show you guys the books that I kind of want to read. So I kind of made a list last year when I first started being like, oh, I really want to get into reading. And so I actually have a list of like stuff that I just found on TikTok. And I've been trying to look for a bunch of these books, but honestly, we're just gonna have to call it a day. But I'm going to try and get this book. This is my next book read because one, I want to buy this, and then for the LGBTQ center, which is where I work at on my school campus, is a reason why I want to get this book, because I want to get the book for this and then for that. So that's the plan, is to get a book for the LGBTQ center and a book for me. And I want to read it, and that's going to be my February book. So that hopefully that's not going to be my February book. We'll figure it out. I'm currently not broke. I'm currently on the edge of being broke because I have to pay rent literally on the 1st. So that's one of the books I want to read this year. Like I said, this one on my list up here. I've only read 3 books off my list, which is Take a Hit, Danneaburden, Terms and Conditions, and 7 Days in Jail. The next book I really want to read is The Princess Trap, because I kind of love the royalty, especially when it's modern royalty vibe. I love that. And then I also have The Princess Trap and The Princess Bride, and then I have Cheeky Royal, and then The Dark Knight, and then the Brutal Birthright series, and then I think that's all of my like royalty stuff. And then I have some spicy shit on this motherfucker. I have the Grumpy Romance series, which I kind of want to get. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out what books I'm going to get. You'll probably see a book haul before the month is over. Because if I could just buy a bunch of these books in one go, we'll be good. But I have Grumpy Romance on here. I also have Dirty Desires, Gentleman Rogues, which is a series, and then Quiet Chaos, and then Tease. I am kind of, there's not a lot of books on this list. I just added 2 more books to my list, and I kind of just grab whatever I find. If I can find it, I grab it. Like it's actually a phone screen. So when I'm on my phone, I just kind of swipe through it. I swipe to it because you can switch phone screens. I swipe to this one, and then I like walk around bookstores with it. That's kind of how I roll, which I'm not even mad about. It makes my life easier to have access to like the stack of fucking books I'm trying to read. So it makes my life easier. So by the end of this year, hopefully I'll have like more books. And again, all of these books are Black female character books. And so if you have any recommendations for more Black female character books, let me know. Because honestly, that's where your girl's trying to be in 2024, is up there with the Black girlies who love books. Also, like any more book talkers, Black girl book talkers, because that's my thing. I am mainly focusing on like Black girl book talkers because honestly, the Black girls know what Black books are. And honestly, I'm not mad at the stack of books that I've read in 2023. Though I wish it was more books, definitely. But I'm proud of myself. I used to be a book girly when I was younger because I used to read whatever I found. Yes, I have read the Danneaburden series. Yes, I've read Hunger Games. Yes, I have read all of Twilight, all of Harry Potter. What else? All of the Percy Jackson series and other parts of the Rick Riordan series. What else have I read that people would like ask me about? I used to read Nancy Drew. I've read all of the, what are they called? The Treehouse. I've read all of the Treehouse series. I'm trying to think of what else I probably have read that most people know about. What is that one book series? Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember. The Click. I read the Click, all the Click series, all the Click, and then there was like variations of the Click. I actually have like 3 Click books, but they're all at home. at my house in Albany. So I'm a big reader. I've always been a big reader. Honestly, if I were to bring out the stack of books that I have underneath in my bedside table at home, you'd be surprised. But I'm a bookish girly, and honestly, your girl's gonna get back into reading. So hold me accountable and ask me what books I've read in 2024 at the end of the year, please, because your girl's gonna forget. But thank you guys for like sticking around with me. This video is long as shit. I'm tired and I still have homework to do and more homework to cry about. So I will see you guys in the next video. I love you. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave all of these books, and I'm also going to leave all of my favorite book talkers down in the link below. Check me out on Instagram, Twitter, or everywhere else. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.